Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and this time we're not talking about card reviews. We're talking about the latest balance patch teaser, probably going live tomorrow with the full patch notes and all that. We don't know the exact changes to these cards, but we know we're getting 9 nerfs in standard, a buff, kind of, as well as a nerf in wild, and it looks like a card unbanned. So we're gonna go over all the cards that are changing, what I think those changes could be, and yeah, you'll be able to give your opinion in the comments below. We'll find out, yeah, probably tomorrow. We'll cover the patch notes and all the new cards being revealed. It's a busy time right now. And speaking of that whole season going on, we have a giveaway going on for 2 regular pre-orders, 2 mega bundles out of my pocket. To enter the giveaway, like and comment to the video link description below. Be subscribed to the channel every 1,000 subs we get until all the cards are revealed. I will add another mega bundle, so hit that sub button, make me go broke. So yeah, what cards are getting hit? So these are the standard nerfs going on. Yogg, for the second time, will be getting nerfed. He's in like 30-40% of all decks, and with, you know, the big spaceships or starships coming out, it might make sense that we don't want a neutral mind control to be as good. Although, what are you gonna do? Make it 10? Like, there's not much you can really change. You just make it more of a druid card. I guess they could rework his abilities. We'll see, but yeah, my guess, I guess 10. I don't think they're reverting it back to the old way of 15 and it costs less for each spell. That was not okay. But yes, Yogg will be getting changed. And Marin looks like finally, they just highlighted in the image the Wondrous Wand, right? The Wondrous Wand there as the item to be getting nerfed. And I guess, like, your cards you draw 3, they cost 1. Could be similar to the old Rogue Galakron nerf they did, but something to the wand, right? Which will affect, from my understanding, the old Marin, the old Togwoggle, so there could be some dust refunds on some old wild cards, the way it all goes. And yeah, just really overdue. Again, he's in like 50% of standard decks right now, and it just creates all these scams. Every game he comes down, it's basically get wand, cheat a billion mana. So it'll be interesting to see what the change is for it, but for me, I'm more than happy for that to change. It's just silly to have such an auto-include card. I would love for it in an ideal world that they would have reworked the card to be like condition-based, but the fact they're showing the wand there basically means not. And they also showed the Golden Kobold as a buff. So they're gonna buff, where they're gonna make it 2 mana or increase the stats, or who knows, right? Like, they're going to be buffing the Golden Kobold. I guess it's compensation for nerfing the wand. So the old cards, they all share these same treasures, so those will get buffed as well. So we'll have to see what that is. And again, we should find out likely tomorrow. Puppet Master Dorian. Wild players are rejoicing, as well as standard players too, but this is more of like just one of these really frustrating cards that when it comes down, if you don't kill it or they just combo it with a minion draw card, they could just scam you. It's, again, so many of these cards are about scams, and that's kind of been what I've been saying, is it's too many scams in Hearthstone, too much mass mana cheat, and Puppet Master Dorian is a big part of that. If they make him like 5 mana, takes him out of Oaken Summons pool, which he is used in both standard and wild for that. Not as much in standard, but it is a strategy. I would love it if it was capped as your first minion you draw each turn, right? So you get the 1 big mana cheat, and that's it. You're not chaining this ridiculous thing together, but overall, should be a pretty big deal for both formats. This one certainly hits up both, so that's really nice. Same with Treasure Distributor. This is another card that's been really frustrating, where if you don't kill it on 1, you're dead. I hope they just put it back to the old version. I feel like it should have never been buffed. You can make it 2 mana or whatever. I feel like that's not the way to go. Just go back where it was a good card. Believe it or not, it was run in wild pirate decks before it got buffed. It just became broken when it became buffed, and then standard started to feel it once they got some pirates. How about that? Who would have guessed? But yes, Treasure Distributor, likely I would think just going back to normal, but that's not always the case of how it works out. Party Fiend, this one kind of surprised me, but Pain Warlock has been so good for so long, and this card's a big part of it. It's one of the, you know, best mulligan win rate cards. 1 mana 3/3. We power crept on Flame Imp. I guess that was a little too far. You can make it 2 mana, summon 1/1/1 instead of 2. you could do that. There's a couple little options there. Stat nerfs can't really do to a 1/1, right? So I guess the self-damage could be lower. We'll see what they do with this one. But yeah, they wanted to hit Pain Warlock because it's been a standout, as has Insanity Warlock with Crescendo, which got buffed from 3 to 2, probably goes back to 3, so it's no longer free with Pop Guard, giving you that insane burst for nothing. But I still feel like at 3, it's insane. I wouldn't be surprised this goes to 4. Like, it's so crazy how good this card is that I feel like it could be 4 mana, and that's reasonable. But we'll see. My guess, it goes to 3. You could also take the face damage away from it, but then you're killing the deck archetype, and they haven't really been doing that lately, so I would be very surprised. You could change it to not be a Fel spell too, but it kind of just looks like a Fel spell, so I don't think I would love that either. But yeah, 3, 4 mana, I think would be more than reasonable. Tsunami, another, there's a trend here of buff cards getting nerfed. Isn't that crazy? A lot of these cards were buffed. Tsunami now, probably going back to 8, right? 3 for 8 instead of 4, so that when you cheat it out, you're only getting 3 instead of 4, which is a big deal. So I imagine that, and if you bump it down to 8, Sunset Volley can contest with it in the mana cheat game and all of that, and still probably pretty good if they do that. But I don't know, what else are you doing? You're gonna, I guess, could just do it 10 mana, 3 water elementals, I suppose. There's not a lot you can do, right? You can't make it more expensive. It's already 10. So there's only so many things you can do. They could take the attack away where you just summon them, but then the card's complete utter garbage. It doesn't work. So yeah, we'll see what they do. But yes, another buffed card getting nerfed. Also have the Razzle Dazzler, another card that got buffed that's getting nerfed. And as much as I have loved playing Razzle Dazzler decks in Shaman and Deathlight, it's too good. It is absurd for 6 mana what this card can do, and not many other decks can really compete against it as well. It's another one of those absolute mass mana cheat scams. Again, I'm happy that it's allowed for like all these different rude decks to work in Deathlight, but it's just carried by broken crap, and that's not really healthy. And I'm not gonna let my bias for the decks that I like to play get around that, where yeah, this probably should go back to 7. Like, it's just insane. And you could take away the initial 5 drop too. That's something you could do. A stat nerf to this would be completely irrelevant. So I'm hoping it either goes to 7 or yeah, they take away that initial 5 cost minion out of the thing, making it kind of like the mage spell that's quite similar in design. Next, we have Injured Hauler is going to be getting nerfed for Priest. Overheal Priest, one of the top decks for a very long time. This is one of the more contentious cards of where you just can never stick a board. Once this is online, it has so much health. It is so hard to remove. And with like a lot of the overheal stuff, there's more overheal stuff coming for Priest. Maybe they're like, okay, let's get ahead of it a bit. And yeah, you could take the deal 2 to deal 1. You could take some health away, although you got to keep it to a range where it doesn't, just Sudoku itself, but you can make it 4 mana. But overall, yeah, a card that probably needs to get hit with everything else getting dialed back. It's nice to see some nerfs finally. I have to say, it's been way too long. So that's all the standard changes. So that's a lot of nerfs out there, but Wild also will be getting some stuff too. As we saw with that repeatable pre-spell, they said not to worry, Radiant Elemental's getting nerfed. So we could just imagine it's probably not going to go to 4 like Sork did originally. It's probably going to get the exact same treatment, right? Not less than 1. And the reason I think that is quite likely is that Crimson Clergy is getting unbanned, which was mainly banned because of the way it worked with Radiant. You could go like infinite OTKs with Fizzle and just like infinitely draw out your photographs and Mind Blast for 0 mana as early as like turn 3. It was super degenerate, and this new strategy would be even more degenerate than that, by the way, be even easier to complete. And yeah, Clergy could actually be a big buff for Wild and Priest, or Priest Wild, because they've never really been able to do a proper overheal deck. This could be cracked. This could be insane. This could be problematic, but if you're nerfing Radiant to the point of not less than 1, which completely kills the decks it's in, right? You can give it some compensation there, and I think I'm on board with that. I think it's something I may have suggested privately when I heard about this. So yes, the guy that hates on Priest advocating for Priest cards to get unbanned, but I'm like, hey, if you're changing Radiant, why not unban Clergy, right? what could go wrong? But, you know, it just seems reasonable to do. So, yeah, lots of changes coming before the next expansion comes out. They hit almost like every big problematic scam deck to an extent. And hopefully it'll allow for some, you know, slower decks or other decks to have a chance to try and compete against these either hyper-aggressive strategies, insane mana cheat, board vomiting. We'll see how it goes. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments down below. Again, we'll keep you up to date once those patch notes are live. Patches live, we'll let you know. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.